Hello, I'm Philip Stoughton. I'm here at Apex 2019 on the Scoop Studio, and I'm joined by Miles Moreau from KIC. Miles, always good to see you. Last time I saw you was just 3 weeks ago in Las Vegas at CES. We were both listening to a conference presentation. And what fascinated me about that show is a lot of the stuff they were talking about in the keynotes, in the press conferences, was about AI, was about connectivity of vehicles, was about 5G, all those enabling ingredient technologies. Those things are finding their way through into manufacturing now, and we find ourselves with some of the same challenges. Is that something that you've noticed?
Yeah, that's why I attend that show, because a lot of that technology, you will see it in the consumer market, right? It's a gigantic market, so a lot of innovation happens there. And it was interesting to see you there, because one thing I have seen in maybe the last 2 or 3 years at that show is they're creeping in. There is a little bit about industry and manufacturing, not just the end consumer, which is good to see. That means we're going in the right direction, and that's what keeps my kind of hand on the pulse of what's going on.
Yeah, and you see all those startups that need help industrializing, and I think it creates a kind of a connected ecosystem where we're talking to each other. One of the big things that people were talking about was connectivity there, and we've got CFX, Hermes upstairs, and connectivity is one of the big topics in the industry. How's that developing in the segment, and how's it developing within KIC?
Well, in the segment, the connectivity, I think, with MES systems or factory systems is just starting with the smart factory. The smarts about it is that's where I think the infancy right now in industry is. They're just learning about that, what to do with this data. The CFX and Hermes is maybe the connectivity part, but where it gets really interesting is, okay, now that you're connected, what are you going to do? Yeah. And we've had this discussion before, as even different players in the industry, you start to have to be collaborative in order to bring that value to the customer. Yeah. So one of the things we've done as far as artificial intelligence or data analytics goes is we've taken something, we've done analytics on sensor data from the reflow oven for the past couple decades. Yeah. And so this fits really well within our business model and what we do. Our core technology is taking that analytics of real-time calculations of what's happening to the product and then correlating that to other things that are happening on the line. So now that we have this, if you take the model you talked about, smart cars, smart cities, and traffic lights and that sort of thing, well, now you try to apply that to industry. Now, so if we're smart about what's happening to the product in the oven, and we know what happened to it on the screen printer and maybe what the inspection says afterwards, we can start to say, here's what you need to do. Like the same thing, tell that car or the traffic light, oh, there's a pedestrian still on the sidewalk. Well, we can say, oh, there's starting to be a trend in the reflow oven. We can start to make adjustments or give the end user actionable data that they can do something on.
Yeah, and that's interesting in terms, you mentioned the word collaboration, and it's an opportunity for you to collaborate at a kind of a machine-to-machine level, because obviously your data is useful on various points of the line, but also at that MES umbrella level with the software providers that are in there. Are you finding that companies are willing to have that dialogue?
Yeah, just in this past year, just prior to this show, we have a partnership with Mentor. We're working with iTech through CFX. Now our data is in Kajascan and Aegis and their dashboards. So, and some of the time now it's, oh, we need something from Reef. Let's go talk to KIC, and then we get information and can show value, and that collaboration brings good business to us, and it brings value to the customer. Yeah. So it's kind of a win-win.
Yeah, and it's that two-way flow of data that's essential to add value, because you can use that data to inform, but also the more data that you've got and the more you can provide, the more you can drive these AI engines, which we seem to be moving towards. Their learning systems. I think one of the things that I enjoyed at this show was the guy from Tesla was saying in 20 hours in their fleet, they can record a lifetime's worth of driving, so 1 million miles of driving experience in 20 hours. That's kind of the goal with a lot of this data to be absorbed, to be able to create that level of experience.
Yeah, and that's, I think, the next step is there kind of has to be a proof of concept to the industry by the suppliers that we're collaborating and we can show value. So if they share some of that data, maybe it's scrubbed and clean, so it's anonymous data, that they can get value from that, because the connectivity is fine and some of the analytics we can do, but it's going to take that large amount of data to really hit that smart. When you say smart factory, the smarts come by knowing a lot and having a lot of information and being able to make really good decisions.
Yeah, no, I agree with you there, Miles. The idea of shared, anonymized data is something that's hugely valuable for the industry, and I think it will be a quantum leap in what we can achieve. Thank you very much for stopping by. Always a pleasure to see you, and look forward to chatting again soon. Thank you.
Thank you, Phil.